Hey, what's up? It's Patrick. It's Rose via Fire, and I pray this message reaches who it needs to reach. So let's talk about have you ever felt like God isn't listening to your prayers? You know, and this is just an honest message. Like, you ever be praying and you feel like God isn't listening? You know what I'm saying? You still feel alone. You still feel alone even while you praying to God sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real, man. Let's be honest, bro. Like, you ever felt like you still feel alone even after you are praying? Even in the middle of the prayer, you feel as though God is not listening. You still feel alone sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it real, bro. Uh, you feel like sometimes it feel like you're talking to yourself, and this is not to be disrespectful, but this is just to be honest, bro. Sometimes it feel like you are talking to yourself. You know, sometimes it feel like you're praying, and this is not to be disrespectful or anything, but it feel like you're talking to the walls, bro. You know, this is not to be disrespectful to God or anything. This is just honesty, bro. You know, and a lot of people is just afraid to just be honest with themselves, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it feel like you're talking to the air, bro. Feel like you're talking to the wall, bro. Feel like you're talking to yourself. It feel like God is not listening. You still feel alone. You know, sometimes when you pray, you're not really gonna feel like this. Like I said, you ain't gonna feel this grand feeling. You ain't gonna feel this big emotional feelings, bro. Sometimes you could feel alone. Sometimes you could feel as though God is not listening. And I'm gonna give y'all two reasons why you could feel as though God is not listening. I'm gonna give y'all two reasons. For number one, I'm gonna just get this out the way. Excuse my voice, yeah. My voice keeps cracking, bro. But um, I'm gonna give y'all two reasons on why you could feel as though God is not listening. I'm gonna just get this first reason out the way. For the first reason would be um because maybe God is actually not listening. You know what I'm saying? There's some people out there whereas God don't even want to hear and listen to their prayer because these people hearts is not right. You know what I'm saying? These people probably wicked and this and that. God don't even want to listen to these people no more because they might have done something that they gotta go talk to God about their situation. God may be like just angry with them. God don't even want to listen. Okay, we got that out the way. God don't want to listen because your heart probably wicked and this and that. We got that out the way. But then you got those people who are loyal and faithful to God, and they could probably feel the same way. Well, in that case, it could just mean that, you know, if you are loyal and faithful to God and you feel as though God is not listening, you feel as though you are alone. Well, in that case, it could just mean that you are basically you're human, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? We feel all types of ways, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the answer to that situation is you have to believe that God is listening. That's the key. You know, even when though sometimes it feels like he's not listening, it feels like you're alone as you pray and this and that. God is literally listening. God is there in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? God is really there in the spirit. You might not feel it every single time because, you know, we just human and this and that. But the answer to that and the secret is you got to believe that he's listening. Sometimes you just have to believe because it is true. He is listening. He is there with you in the spirit. But you got to believe it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Do not believe your emotions. Because emotions, man, these emotions will have you like feeling all types of different ways, bruh. You know what I'm saying? We can't be out here trusting our emotions, bruh. Your feelings and your emotions will have you feeling all types of ways. But what we can do is we can be honest about how we feel, though. But we cannot just trust and, you know what I'm saying? We cannot just basically follow our emotions, bruh. We can't trust and follow our emotions, bro. That's crazy. But we can be honest about how we feel, and we can be honest about our feelings and emotions. But the thing is, are you going to believe your emotions that God is not listening and this and that? Or are you going to believe that he's listening because you know it's true? Sometimes you just got to believe it, bro. You got to believe that God is there. You got to believe that God is listening. Sometimes you just got to use the power of belief. You just got to believe it, bro, because he is there. He is listening. Even when it don't feel like it sometimes, he is there. So the key is you got to use the power of belief. You got to believe it, bro. You got to believe that he's listening, bro. You got to believe that he's there. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to just use the power of just believing. You just believe he's there. You believe he's listening, bro. You know? Imagine when you pray and you believe he's actually listening. There's sometimes where we pray, but we're not keeping that in mind. We're not keeping in mind that God is actually listening. You got to have that on your mindset, brother. I believe God is listening. As you pray, you got to believe that he's listening, bro. You know what I'm saying? So for some of you out there, that could really like change your prayer life and really take your prayer life to another level. Is because now you actually believe that he's listening. You know, it's like before when you was praying, you don't even believe that he's listening. But now it's like you're using the power of belief. Like you believe he's listening, bro. Despite of how you feel, irregardless of how you feel. Because these emotions, we can't follow these emotions, bro. You know what I'm saying? We can't follow the way of these emotions, bro. We gotta follow like the truth. And the truth is you gotta believe he's listening because you're already faithful and you're already loyal to God. You are not a cutthroat person. You did not betray God and this and that. Like you really are loyal and faithful to him, and you really following him from your heart. So he's listening, man. Just believe it. You know what I'm saying? Use the power of belief, man. Use the power of belief. I'm trying to tell you. When did we learn about the power of belief, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Even when we was kids, bro, and we used to believe things like, oh man, I believe this is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta just believe, bro. Sometimes you gotta take things back to basics and just believe, bro. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta go back to the basics and just believe that he's listening. And for some people out there, this message could really it could really up your prayer life, and it could really improve your prayer life. You know, just the power of belief, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta make it simple. You know, a lot of these preachers, when they preach, man, they be just like rambling on for like 4 hours. And that's why these people be falling asleep in the church. Because what type of human brain is about to process a person talking about basically nothing for 4 hours? No wonder everybody be falling asleep in church. Let's keep it real. But sometimes you just got to make the message simple, man. If you're praying and you really are loyal to God, and you feel as though, sometimes you're going to feel as though God is not listening and you feel alone and this and that. Hey, man, all you got to do is just be honest about how you feel to God and just believe that he's listening. You know what I'm saying? Just believe it. That's it. Sometimes that power of belief is just going to change everything, bro. I'm trying to tell you. That's the answer to like different things sometimes. It's just believing. You got to believe it. And how much do you believe it? That's another thing within itself. How much do you believe that God is listening? You know what I'm saying? Some people may believe that God is listening just a little bit. But then you got other people out there too, whereas they just believe it for real. Like they see it, bro. They feel it, all types of things, bro. They really believe for real. They believe, they power of belief is way too strong, bro. They know God is listening, bro. They not playing around, bro. They knowing God is listening, bro. And when you really, really believe on a high level that God is listening, your prayers themselves could change. You know what I'm saying? Your prayers themselves could change because now you're like, wait, God is really listening. And if you listen to a lot of people when they pray, They pray as though God is not listening. But think about it. Let's say you was teleported to the throne of God right now, and you was actually looking at God. Would your prayer be the same as it is now? Most likely not, because now you're actually seeing God. Your prayer will be different, bruh. That's what I'm trying to say, bruh. When you on earth and you praying, you going about your day and this and that, sometimes the power of belief, like, it goes down because we in this world, you know what I'm saying, we have a fleshly body and all these different things of the world. So it's like that power of belief could go down a little bit. But when you really, like, let's say God teleports you to his throne and you was praying in front of God himself, do you really believe your prayer is going to be the same as opposed to like how you is right now? So that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, the power of belief, when you believe on a high level that God is really listening, stuff become way too real to you, bro. Stuff is no longer a game, bro. Stuff become way too real. Your words may totally be different. Your entire prayer may totally be different. Your entire words totally change. Everything would totally change because now it's real now. Now really, like, it's real now. This is like real stuff, But sometimes you be in your head too much. You're dealing with life. You're dealing with this. You're dealing with that. You're dealing with all this type of stuff on earth. So your prayers could lose that element of just belief. And we need to get back to that element of belief, bro, in our prayers, bro. We need to get back to that element. We need to make sure these things is real, like, as possible, man. Like, these things really real. But I think that's basically all I just wanted to say on this message, man. Peace.